With the Book of Boba Fett coming this December, it's easy for fans to start speculating about who could make a surprise appearance in the show. While there are a number of worthy candidates, one that you may not have considered is none other than Ahsoka Tano. Fans of the Clone Wars will recall that the two actually have a history, which is why we'll be talking about how Ahsoka could appear in the Book of Boba Fett.
So, this is where the fun begins.
As mentioned, Ahsoka and Boba Fett have a number of connections and have crossed paths in the Clone Wars series. For all of you Mandalorian fans out there who are being harassed by that one friend to watch it, listen to them! You will not regret it. Anyway, the first connection between the two is coincidentally the first plotline of the series, or rather the animated movie. Without going too in-depth, Ahsoka joins her new master, Anakin Skywalker, on a mission to rescue the infant son of Jabba the Hutt, Rotta, from the Separatist Alliance. Yeah, Jabba has a son. How that came to be? It's best not to think about it. Anyway, due to the Jedi duo saving Rotta, Jabba cuts a deal with the Republic, allowing them to safely travel through Hutt Space in the Outer Rim. While Boba isn't at all involved in this specific storyline, it draws the first connective thread he has to Ahsoka, which is of course the Hutts. As it's widely understood that Boba would go on to be Jabba's most trusted bounty hunter, he has very close ties to the Hutt clan. But this is only the first way in which their characters intersect, as they've actually met once before. Remember that plotline in Clone Wars where Boba wanted to get revenge on Mace Windu for killing his father Jango? Yeah, it's understandable why he didn't have the best relationship with the Jedi. That was also the first and only time he officially crossed paths with Ahsoka. She, along with Master Plo Koon, tried to stop Boba from harming clone hostages, as well as save Mace and Anakin from a crashed Republic vessel. While Boba is viewed as the antagonist in this story, he was shown to be reluctant when dealing with hostages and murdering innocent people. He was more so goaded into it by his bounty hunter accomplices Aurra Sing and Bossk, who wanted a hefty bounty for the prisoners from Count Dooku. Some great friends, huh? Boba is simply a kid who wanted justice for his father's untimely demise, which is totally understandable. This story was also one of the first times outside of any legend stories that Boba was humanized and given more depth besides his portrayal as a cold-hearted badass in the original trilogy. It showed that he isn't truly a villain, which was more so solidified in The Mandalorian. This makes it all the more interesting if he were to meet Ahsoka in his upcoming series, and how that history could come into play. So how exactly could Ahsoka appear in the Book of Boba Fett? Well, seeing as the series appears to involve Boba taking over Jabba's criminal empire, it's possible that we could see her cross paths with Boba as an ally this time around. At this point in her story, we know that Ahsoka's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn, which would likely be the primary plot for her upcoming series. It wouldn't be hard to believe that in her journey along the Outer Rim looking for Thrawn, she'd come across Boba and recall their previous encounter years ago. Seeing as it ended on relatively amicable terms, but with Boba's imprisonment, I could see him reacting a number of ways, both positive and negative. Ahsoka would likely reveal her good relations with the Hutts, and it's even possible that an older Rotta could make an appearance, as the rest of the Hutt clan is likely still around. It's possible that they could take issue with Boba now calling the shots on Tatooine, and perhaps Ahsoka steps in to help broker a truce. Very much in Jedi tradition. This would also be a good opportunity to dive into the current state of the Hutt operation, as it seems like their influence has diminished since the death of Jabba in Return of the Jedi. The inclusion of Ahsoka could also bring into question Boba's current stance on the Jedi, as his supposed death was caused by the antics of Luke Skywalker and his crew. This was never touched on in The Mandalorian, but it's definitely something that lingered in the back of my mind when he was on screen. Similar to Ahsoka's alliance with Din, this could serve as a way to bring Boba's thoughts on the Jedi into a more positive light, seeing as he's mostly had bad experiences.
A Mandalorian and a Jedi? They'll never see it coming.
It's been stated that the current and upcoming series on Disney Plus will lead to a crossover event, not unlike the MCU. If this is the case, it makes sense for Ahsoka to appear and seed a future connection with Boba down the line. If I'm to put my money on anything, it's that this crossover event will relate to Thrawn and possibly be a loose retelling of the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn. But only time will tell. Speaking of all these crossovers and old encounters, I wonder how Boba would react to meeting Luke Skywalker in the present. While it seems like they'd have some bad blood, Boba was revealed to have no allegiance to the Empire, meaning that they could sweep it under the rug.